standing. On behalf of Christina and Kevin, I want to thank you all for coming. You are here because you have hold a special place in their lives and the lives of their family. In the next few minutes, we're going to celebrate with them. They're going to do the hard work of getting through the ceremony. You're going to do the easy work of just sharing in their joy. And at some point, I'm going to ask you to be in silent prayer for them during a part of our ceremony. Would you please bow your head with me as I invoke the blessing of God upon this place. Father, thank you. Thank you for your goodness in Christina and Kevin's life. Their histories, their families, their unique personalities, all that they offer to each other today in holy matrimony and for life. I thank you, Lord, for why we are here to celebrate their lives together with your blessing. Thank you for your divine presence that is with us. Thank you for the Holy Spirit that encourages us. We give you this time and this couple. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I pray. Amen. I would ask, who gives this woman to be married to this man? You may be seated. So I told Kevin and Christina that I would be spontaneous at points through the ceremony, and this is one of those times. I hadn't planned on it until I heard Kevin say, "I've never sweat so much in all my life." And I have to tell you, I've seen him for the last hour and 15 minutes. He's been pretty calm, cool, and collected. But the moment he saw his lovely bride walk down that aisle, did you hear the rattling of his knees? I'm glad we're here. In our time together, the very first time we met at Panera, I talked about the definition and meaning of Christian marriage. Not religious marriage, but Christian marriage. And I said Christian married love is the persistent effort on the part of two people to be the kind of person who helps the other person to be the best one they can be, a better person they could ever become alone. As we enjoy the sand ceremony later on, I'm going to talk about what each of you brings to this ceremony and to this relationship. But for now, my prayer for you is that from this day forward, as you already have, I'm sure, your commitment beyond God is first to each other, then to your immediate family, your extended family, and beyond. In Ephesians chapter 5, I won't be reading verses 21 through 31, but it gives a wonderful description of the commitment between two people in marriage. It talks about the roles and responsibilities of the husband and wife, but really what I focus on is the mutuality, the responsibilities that if one has to the other, it really is reciprocal. It talks about serving each other and loving each other and that commitment you have to each other. It's not about his or her responsibilities. It's about shared responsibilities. What I love, though, is the part where it talks about, in this part, it talks about the husband washing, or Christ washing the church with his words, symbolizing the power of the spoken word. And why I love that in Ephesians 5, it talks about the power of encouragement to me that you have to each other. You're going to be able to speak into each other's lives differently than anyone else. You're going to learn the value of not just listening to each other, but hearing the message behind what is being shared. It ends talking about, for this reason shall the man leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. The mystery of that one flesh is literally, how in the world can two hearts become one? Two agendas, two plans, two minds become one. It really is a mystery. The foundation of that mystery is love. So you're here today to declare your intent to honor the sanctity of marriage and to bring the relationship you have under the lordship and leadership of Christ in holy matrimony. The one rule I'm sure you remember it in the time, I'm sure you remember the one rule of marriage that I have is for the rest of your life, I'm going to ask you to have fun with God and have fun with each other together. Because as long as you're having fun with God and each other, it's going well for both of you. One last scripture says, love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous. It does not boast. It's not arrogant. Love is not rude or selfish. It's not easily provoked. It keeps no record of wrongs. It doesn't rejoice when another is offended. It rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, and hopes all things. It endures all things. Verse 8 in 1 Corinthians 13 says, love never fails. These three may remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Kevin and Christina, will you please face each other? And Kevin, talk about karma. Now I'm sweating, so I don't know what's going on with you. Kevin, I would ask you, do you take Christina to be your lawfully and biblically wedded wife? Do you commit yourself to fulfill your role as her husband and dedicate yourself to her physical and spiritual well-being? Will you love, honor, trust, and serve her in sickness and in health, in times of blessing and of testing, and to be faithful and true to her so long as you both shall live? If this is your desire, please say, I will. And Christina, do you take Kevin to be your lawfully and biblically wedded husband? Do you commit yourself to fulfill your role as his wife and dedicate yourself to his physical and spiritual well-being? Will you love, honor, trust, and serve him in sickness and in health, in times of blessing and of testing, and to be faithful and true to him so long as you both shall live? If this is your desire, will you please say, I will. Do you have rings that you bring as a gift for each other? Two rings. We've got about 16 minutes left. I'm sorry. No. I would ask for you to take his ring, and I would ask for you to take her ring. As you hold them, I'd ask you to look at them. Just stare at them. This is the last opportunity you have before you give that to the other person. I'm not giving She said, don't give us a chance. I'm giving you a chance to recommit your heart to each other. The ring that you hold is unbroken. That circle doesn't end. That's my prayer for your love for each other and your marriage. It's made of a metal that's designed for whatever a ring is designed for, but it's specifically given to the other person, the one whose hand you're holding. So to other people who see the rings in your hand, they're just rings. They hold some value. The value they hold in your heart is beyond finances. It's your life. So I would ask at this time, Kevin, would you please take Christina's ring and place it on the fourth finger of her left hand? And repeat after me. With this ring, I accept you as my wife. Receive it as a token of my love for you. With the help of God the Father, in the love of Christ the Son, and the power of the Holy Spirit. And Christina, will you please take his ring and place it on his finger of the left? You repeat after me. With this ring, I accept you as my husband. Receive it as a token of my love for you, with the help of God the Father, in the love of Christ the Son, and the power of the Holy Spirit. At this time, we're getting ready to watch Kevin and Christina perform what's called the sand ceremony. We celebrate their union symbolically through this ceremony. Love is a force that's more powerful than any other force. It can't be measured, is more powerful, and can transform anyone in any moment when two hearts are joined together. The love that joins you, Kevin, to Christina is one that is given by God through you. And same with you, Christina. But I want you to remember, no matter how powerful love is together, before you met, you had your own unique strengths, your own histories, your vulnerabilities, your personality. Remember the personality test we took? 2 different people approaching life from 2 different directions. But somehow when you come together, those personalities work together. For the weaknesses that we find in your personality type, Christina, are really strengths in Kevin's. And the weaknesses in yours, Kevin, are fulfilled wonderfully through Christina's personality. The sand that represented today, I'm going to lay the first layer of sand. That simply represents the foundations and personalities that you bring together. And then, Christina, you're going to do a layer of sand that represents your own history. You're going to place your history on top of hers and do your own layer of sand. And then, at some point, before you run out of sand, I want you to bring that sand together and fill it almost to the top if you can, and watch the grains blend. Then I'm going to finish that with the layer of sand, the white layer of sand, and that top layer represents the people who are in this room. They're the ones, most of them, a lot of them, who have seen you to this day. You will celebrate your marriage following. So, you ready for the sand ceremony? Let's do that together.
Story of my life, they will have
Thanks for starting on that rule already. I love it. Well, all we have left is for me to pray a prayer of blessing over your life together, for you to seal the marriage vows with a kiss, and for me to pronounce you man and wife. That's all we got left. So, in my own way, I asked the Lord what I would pray for you. And as a typical pastor, I came up with a lot of words with the same P at the beginning. That you would always recognize God's divine presence in your life. That you would always experience His provision in good times and bad. That you would realize the protection God has over your life through the counsel of each other, family, friends, and prayer. That you would experience prosperity. Material prosperity, but also that prosperity that you can't really value or put a price on. Is that you would prosper in your home, in the four walls of your home. At some point, I'm sure you'll share that house with children, whether 1 or 12. Am I close? I know you were going to share it with the dog right away. Yeah, okay. That God would make your partnership literally that, more than a contract of marriage with the state, but a partnership, where each of you has equal voice in decisions that are made. And finally, that you would experience the peace that goes beyond your understanding and will guard your heart and mind. God, thank you again for Kevin and Christina. Your blessing before they came today, during this time, and as man and wife. Thank you for their families who've invested in them and their friends who joined them. Thank you for their future. I ask that you offer them your best. Amen. Well, Kevin and Christina, at this time, if you want, you may seal the vows with a kiss. Well, if you would turn and face the audience, it is my privilege as a minister of the gospel to introduce to you, for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Ellison.